is going on, my Masketeers? Welcome back to another episode, and we are here to talk about She-Hulk, Attorney at Law, episode 2. Yes, episode 2 essentially picks up right where episode 1 leaves off, when at the end of episode 1, Jen was giving her closing argument. Titana, whatever the heck her name is, basically burst through the courtroom trying to escape, forces Jen to have to go full She-Hulk to stop her, and she stopped her with one punch. Haha, One Punch Man reference. Hope you got it. Anyways, so episode 2 is essentially the world has now found out that Jennifer is the She-Hulk, and because of that, every law firm is looking at her as a liability, even though she's got a lot of publicity. So they feel like she's too distracting. Which, again, why would you say that? What would make you think that a 7-foot tall, muscle-bound goddess is too distracting? Me personally, I'd love to have that at my firm. Yeah, because of that, she gets fired, and then she is looking for different jobs, and again, no place to take her because they look at her as a liability, too high risk, as they say. And she then gets a job offer from a company slash firm. They want to deal with superhero involvement, essentially. So any incidents where it involves somebody with abilities, whether that's a villain or a hero, that is what they want to do, because again, high profile cases will bring in massive business. And with that being said, they want the face of that to be a superhero lawyer, which is Jen. She's gonna class herself as a superhero, but that's what they want. They want her as the face of their firm. But they don't want Jennifer Walters. No. They want She-Hulk. At first, Jennifer was thinking to herself that it's kind of undermining everything that she's done because she's more than qualified for this position. But now people only look at her that she only got the job because she's She-Hulk. And that might be the case for some. But at the end of the day, if you get in, you get in. It's gonna be your skills that allow you to keep the job, right? So she takes the job offer, but not before being given her first client. And her first client is the Abomination. And she has to defend him. He wants to be let out on parole, or he wants to be freed from he wants to be free of his charges. So technically he's been in there like since 2008. He's just been sitting in that cell for damn near 10 years. That's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. But yeah, that's what it is. And so before she can take the job, again, because Abomination tried to kill her cousin, she decides to give Bruce a call and ask him if he is okay with her taking the job. And he gives her his vote of confidence, saying that, listen, it was a lifetime ago, and yeah, we move and we change, we become different people. For him, literally, he was a different person. She gets the blessing, and then she decides to take the job. And that's essentially the basics of episode 2. Let's get into the good of the episode. The good of the episode is, you know what the funniest thing is? I feel like if I let go of a lot of like my notions of Marvel and She-Hulk in general, I think it's a decent show because it's pushing itself as a comedy, which again, as a comedy, or as, you know, a sitcom, should I say, that it works well in. Let me not even lie about that. If we're looking at it as like a comedy sitcom, 100% it works well as that. And every character within that world, it makes sense. I'm actually going to say that's a positive for the show, because if that's its intention, then it's doing well as its intention. The CGI, I would say, is a bit better for me. I definitely felt that it was good in some parts and then not so good in others. I think it's what clothes they have her wearing, if I'm being honest. I feel when they give her fabrics, like when she's wearing suits and stuff that is meant to be very fabric based and has like a lot of folds and such, it looks fake on her. But then when she's wearing things which are a bit more fitted, don't require that much movement, when she moves, then she looks much better. Yeah, that's definitely a positive. And I would say like her character development as well. I like her as She-Hulk. I feel like, again, she's witty, she has good banter, and she doesn't break the fourth wall as much as I thought she would, especially for the show being a comedy. And I think that works well. I feel if she did it too much, it would be a bit overboard. So I think they have the right balance in that. That is all I have for the good of the show. Can I go into the bad a little bit? The bad, I would say, would be, I feel like the show, back to what I said earlier in regards to it being a comedy, I don't know if She-Hulk is the person to have a comedy with. I feel like, yes, she has a light-hearted personality, but I don't really think that comedy would be really her thing. And so I feel like, again, with the direction that Marvel is going into, everything has become a bit too light-hearted. And don't get me wrong, I like a balance, but everything can't be a joke, essentially. Some parts have to be serious, and I feel that's where Marvel's at. They don't know how to take anything anything serious anymore because they're just pandering to, I don't even know which audience they're pandering to, but they're pandering something. And I feel because of that, some parts of She-Hulk will be sacrificed just for the comedy aspect. I don't feel like there will be any hard-hitting truths because, again, they'll have to slide a joke in there when it's not needed. And so, yeah, they just need to kind of tone that down. Another bad thing is, again, the terrible characterization of Bruce Banner, aka the Hulk. It is really sad what they've turned Hulk into. He barely gets anything to do in this episode. He literally just has a phone call conversation with Jen, and then for some reason you find out like he's on a ship going to Sakaar. But I was thinking, how the hell did he get reception when he's out in space? I was a little bit weird. How did she connect to his phone? That's just a random thing that they put in there, which again, it didn't really make that much sense. And then the final nail in the coffin, it was literally Abomination. Abomination's character has just gone to total absolute dog shit, especially if you look at how he was in the original Incredible Hulk movie. What he is now is a former shell of himself. And the thing is, I'm not against him changing. I liked the moment where Jen meets him and he talks about how he views the situation that happened between him and Hulk all those years ago. And I actually kind of understood where he was coming from. Like, he was a war-decorated hero and he was sent in by the government to do a job, and they pumped him full of the super soldier serum that kind of turned him a little bit nuts. But he believed himself a hero. He believed that he was doing the right thing. Like, obviously he kind of veered off the path, but I understood where he was coming from, and that was like a real moment. It was such a shame that it was now just thrown away because of his entire personality shift, because again, they're going for this comedy aspect which doesn't work all the time, and it didn't work with Abomination. It doesn't work with his character, especially the way he was introduced. So again, it was just like, oh my god, I don't like this at all, which is now getting me scared for Daredevil, because Daredevil's going to be in this show, and are they going to turn him into just like a mad, quippy, jokey kind of guy? And that's not the Daredevil that we got in the Netflix series. He's told a couple of jokes, yes, but again, it was never full on. It was more tongue-in-cheek, and so I'm scared that he will literally get turned into a caricature of who he was. But with that being said, I would say that my verdict for episode 2, I'll give episode 2 a 6 out of 10. It wasn't a bad episode. It was actually enjoyable. The only thing which I will say as well, like, these episodes are quite short, because I think it's only 6 in the season, but like they're only 30 minutes long, and I don't really understand why they would do that. At least make them 45 to an hour. I don't see why they're 30 minutes long, because again, you're not telling enough with the time that you're giving us. If you're only going to make them 30 minutes long and only 6 episodes long, then by all means, cut out the fluff, get to the meat and potatoes. And I feel like that's what Disney's now doing. They're just using these shows to be the origin stories for a lot of their Phase 4 heroes. Rather than spending big budgets on a movie to introduce them, they're literally just introducing them through shows, and then they're going to turn up in the future movie project, which they have planned. So you have Miss Marvel. She's now going to be in the Marvel. So again, you don't even need to know her story or her origin, because you have the show to go back on. Even Monica Rambeau, literally you have WandaVision. You got her origin there and how she got her powers. So again, you don't even need to get a solo movie now. They're just doing it through the shows. And it's the same for She-Hulk. I don't know what she's going to appear in. Obviously, she's going to appear in like the Avengers, Kang Dynasty, and all of that stuff. But yeah, she might even appear on, I don't know, maybe a Fantastic Four, because she has been a part of Fantastic Four, or even a solo Hulk film what they've rumored to be done a certain place. So again, there's a lot to go on where it's possible that it could branch off into different avenues. But yeah, I would say that's it. That's my little rant over for episode 2. And thank you guys again for liking and commenting. And speaking of commenting, here is a few comments from the last video, just doing a little shout out, just to give my gratitude for you guys engaging with my content. Much appreciated. Thank you for helping the channel grow, and please continue to do so, and you might be featured in my next video. So with that being said, please like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you at the next masquerade. Peace.